We start with him, a legend in his own right. We in New England think he's a big-time player. Will the Hall of Fame voters, is he an NFL Hall of Famer?
I think he is, Yanni. I haven't gone down the list or studied or even researched. We didn't have time. Every nose tackle that's in the Hall of Fame. Warren Sapp is in the Hall of Fame. Now he probably has higher sack numbers. He was more of a defensive tackle than a run-stuffing nose tackle. I think he's a Hall of Famer. And Vince talked about it today. I don't know if he was kind of lobbying for the Hall of Fame through the back door a little bit, but those kinds of players typically don't put up big numbers.
Right.
They clog up the middle. They, get 2 or 3 guys occupied on the offensive line and let other people make plays. Vince talked about that. That's the reality. He was the best at that for a time.
Right.
5 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros, once a first-team All-Pro. And he played on championship teams. I know they had Tom Brady and Belichick and all that, but 2 Super Bowls. And I think during 2011, 2012, you could argue he was one of the best defensive players in the league. I know it's D-tackle, nose tackle, not the most important position. I think it'll be a struggle for him to get in because of the lack of sacks, the lack of stats. But I would put him in based on how he played his position.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those positions that doesn't get a lot of love in the box score, as you mentioned. But when you look at him, the cornerstone piece of 2 championship teams, more so in 2004 than in 2014. But for that stretch of time, only he and Brady bridged those 2 Super Bowls years. And I think the people voting, if the Hall of Fame voters know and appreciate the game of football, maybe they aren't looking at the stats as much and they're saying this guy was the best player at his position for a generation, be it 5 years or 10 years, so he deserves consideration. Do I think he's getting in on first ballot? Probably not, but I think he'll have a compelling case. I think it helps that he's on the Patriot championship teams in the dynasty. And, he was sort of a larger-than-life figure, so I think his persona and his larger-than-life image will certainly help him with voters, but I think he is. Or are we biased? I don't know. If you ask someone in San Francisco, do they think Vince Wilfork's a Hall of Famer? I don't know what they say.